Good morning. I'd like to have a conversation with you this morning about the role of asset management in terms of the sustainability of water and wastewater systems. What it means is that what people pay for these services will be closely akin to twice what they currently pay. All of that adds up to moving from being really good at building and operating, which is what has been our focus for the last 30 years, to becoming really good at managing. And that has to be what our focus is for the next 30 years. The heart of successfully managing a water or wastewater utility is really becoming expert at making decisions about the optimal way to proceed when considering maintenance, repair, replacement, and renewal of assets. And it sounds simple, but it's quite complex. It's very challenging to take a set of assets where some solutions are 5-year solutions and some solutions are 20-year solutions and some solutions are 40-year solutions, and figure out what is the really optimal pathway to work forward. And that's why we have this discussion of asset management. As recently as about 1980, our pipe network, both on the water and wastewater side, was a pretty new network. Okay? But if you project that forward to about 2020, what you see is that something in the vicinity of half of that network will be at the point where one would expect it to be poor or very poor or life will last. It's going to be extremely important in terms of performance and important in terms of cost. Asset management basically boils down to being a critical building block on this pathway to sustainability. I believe as an industry, we probably have undervalued information. We're willing to make $100 million decisions on relatively minuscule levels of information. Okay? Because fundamentally, for the community, the assets represent the community's wealth. And if the community is in a position where its asset situation is improving, its community wealth is growing. And if it's in a situation where its asset condition and asset management strategies are declining, the community's wealth is declining. Extremely important for the community to get in touch with just what's taking place there, because it's all about community wealth. I think attitude is a big deal in establishing a sustainable position. We have our folks in this country that are leading edge. Okay? And when new ideas come along, they tend to be the communities that step out and they do these things. And then we have a whole other set of communities that, quite frankly, have the same capacity as the leading edge communities in terms of the capability to kind of do the work. But they generally aren't oriented toward being, a kind of front in the front in terms of the evolution of things. I think when we have this discussion about asset management, quite frankly, that's the targeted set of communities that I'm very interested in basically promoting this discussion with. I know we have another set of communities that are basically kind of in the mindset of, gee, I want to stay out of trouble. I don't want to fall below my permit requirements, but that's all I want to do. And then we probably have another set of communities that basically it's kind of like make me, in terms of their attitude. I do believe that no matter where you are, if you're going to gain community support for these practices that we're talking about, okay, your customers need to understand what you do. Okay? They need to believe that what you do has value, and they need to believe that the practices that you're pursuing are at least competent, if not exceptional. And if you basically work through the asset management decision process, what you're going to see is that there are answers there to all three of those kind of community support issues within that framework that will help you along the way. With that, I'm going to bring this part of the discussion to closure, and I hope you have a great day. Okay.
Hey, Steve, thanks very much for your time. We appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come and talk to us today.
Okay.